Hey guys, it's Inkeater, and welcome to VAM, Vinyl and Music News, where we talk about vinyl, music, and sometimes music news. Anyway, today I kind of wanted to talk about, Chris Cornell, and, not necessarily his death or his suicide, but rather, I guess, what was your last memory of him? I recently was watching a video by Pete Thorn, who played with him, and he was basically kind of doing like a therapy session for himself, where he was basically talking about Chris Cornell and how he met him and how he got introduced to him, and it was such an interesting story, and it was so fascinating. And then on top of that, he started telling you stories about things that Chris did, and one of the things that kind of made me go, wow, that is pretty amazing, was that he would find these really dilapidated homes and ask the people, I think, to if he could rent the home and live there with his bandmates and essentially renovate the place. And when they leave, they would have a renovated place where they could either move back into or they could rent out, which I was like, that is insanely cool. If you want to learn more about that, I'll leave a link down below, or a link somewhere here. I figured that out. I actually did it a few times, or maybe like once or twice. I'm trying to get better about that. Anyway, but I usually leave, I'm usually good about leaving it down in the description below. But it was just really insanely cool to hear somebody talk about somebody and just shed light on that person's life and things that they did. And I was just curious, you know, as a fan, or as somebody who loved Chris Cornell's solo stuff, or his band stuff, like Audioslave or Soundgarden. What is your last memory of him? Whether it's you saw him in concert recently, or there's a vivid memory of you meeting him in person and just interacting with him. Mine would probably, well, I listened to Audioslave and I loved Like a Stone like everybody else, and I listened to Chris Cornell's solo stuff. I would have to say it's kind of the iconic song that I think about when I think about, I guess, Chris Cornell, and it's kind of synonymous with him, is Black Hole Sun. And it's kind of funny because, not funny, but I have this vivid memory of driving around in my 1989 red Toyota Corolla, in the 2000s, mind you. And yeah, I had the really old ancient car that only cost $100, and it was amazing and awesome and glorious. But the part that gets me is I have this vivid memory of driving around in my car and listening to the radio. I loved listening to the radio and burning CDs and making mixtapes. Nothing's different there. Still do the same thing, except for the same damn CD is still stuck in the CD player. Yeah, that's totally still a thing. If you're curious about that, I will leave a link somewhere to that story. I will leave it here just because it is hilarious. Yes, I don't know how many years later, if you get this far in the video and you watch that video, tell me, how many years later has it been since that CD has been stuck in my CD player? Because I really need to fix that, I think. I miss making mixed CDs. Anyway, rant for another day. So I remember listening to 94.9 Zeta, driving around in my car, and at the time I think 94.9 Zeta was going under, and they would play like the same 10 songs, and it was kind of funny because I still to this day remember, I think Black Hole Sun was a part of that set, and so you would hear it on repeat. But it was one of those songs that's just so iconic for me, I guess, in a way, to summer and just driving around, that's kind of like my last memory of when I think of Chris Cornell. But it also got me curious, what is your last memory? Let me know down in the comments below, and if you're curious, I left a bunch of links down below of different people, different YouTubers who happen to talk about Chris Cornell and what they meant to him. There's this one girl who, it reminded her of her father. There's another guy or two, I cannot remember exactly what their story was, so I don't want to butcher it, but there's links down below. There's a few artists like Pete Thorn, and I can't think of who else right this second, but all down in the description. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. What is your last memory? And that's pretty much it. Hope you guys are doing awesome, and bye!
Whatever it is that you believe you're seeing, it's not real.
Seeing things before they happen.
Things are not always what they seem in this place. So you can't take anything for granted.